You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
This is one of my greatest opportunities. It's a golden opportunity to talk to you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Really, I am one of the super fans.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve, mainly I'm working right now on my doctorate degree in the DBA, Doctoral Business Administration, and my topic is the impact of psychological contracts on mental health.
Okay.
So I know a lot about the psychological contract, but I want to take some from your experience regarding the mental health. So I have one question. The first question is, what's the main impact of the psychological contract? It's the perception and the expectations of the employees in the organizations. So, sometimes the employees are expecting some impact or something which is intangible from the organization, and they don't take it. Just like a time to be promoted in a kind of a way of treatment. How this, if the perception is not meeting the expectations, how this may affect the mental health?
So if employees in an organization are expecting an intangible reward or something to be given to them intangibly, and they do not receive it, how does that affect their mental health?
Yes.
Do you mean would they develop psychosis or something, or sadness, yes, or depression?
Sadness, some kind of being very stressed, mindlessness, like what you have mentioned before in your wealth program, something like this. How this will impact their homes, how this will impact their relationships overall.
I don't have a simple answer for that. I'm positive it's multifactorial. I mean, it would depend on the individual, where they're at in their lives. They may have a different job lined up. I really don't think that we can just say it will have a certain impact. I really think it depends on the individual and the organization and the type of intangible reward that they are not receiving. Can you give me a specific example and a specific person?
Yes, of course. Look, the main example I have right now in my mind, the high rate and the high percentage of divorce in the Middle East. This is my main study,
Okay.
My main study. What is the impact of not being very fulfilled in your job or in your work, especially for the people who are hitting the 40s.
Okay.
The mid age. What happens in this age? Mainly, I'm from Egypt.
Okay.
Right now, I am experiencing at this age, especially the 40s, the highest rate of divorce, the highest rate of some kind of problems appear on the surface that wasn't there. So an example of one of my colleagues. This man who was normal, nothing wrong with him, and suddenly he's divorcing his wife. He's very upset. He tended to smoke. He wasn't a smoker. Then when I talked to him, it appeared that everything happened from having some expectations from the work. The expectations are not fulfilled. Right now, he is not fulfilled at all. He feels that he's wasting his life. He is in an age where he is not too old and he is not too young, but he can start something new and he must keep in what he's doing. So this is what I mean by the psychological contract. There was a psychological contract, which is not written contract, especially in the Middle East, because people are not changing jobs. They have a security job. They stay for it till the end of their life. So what happens in the mid of their life, that they are totally dependable on this income. when this income is not meeting their heart, their universal needs, some kind of mental distortions happens to them. So this is one case, but the cases in Egypt on paper is too much.
The cases in Egypt on paper are too much? Is that what you said?
The researches, yes, the researches say that the people who are hitting 40s right now in Egypt, most of them have mental problems.
Okay, so, and you're wondering how a middle-aged person in a job that they expect to keep for the rest of their lives, if they're not getting the intangible reward from that job, how it will affect their mental health.
Yes, their mental health, yes, in terms of relationships with their wives, most importantly, the relationships with their kids, because this negativity, of course, it will be reflected on the kids.
I really don't know. I mean, you would have to talk to a psychologist who understands your culture and specializes in that and has access to data, studies. I do not have access to that data, so I do not know how to answer your question.
Okay, so overall, is there any relationship between the expectations of the job and the mental health?
I think there can be, and again, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, so I'm not qualified to diagnose mental health, but I'm a hypnotherapist. So I would say that there probably is a correlation between expectations being met and happiness.
Yeah, yes, great. This is what I need to do. Because in your course, while I was studying the coaching course online with you, you mentioned the beliefs and the law of attraction and the intuition. And when I talked to people and when I tried when I started following this methodology, I found that the people, they had before the age of 40s especially some beliefs, and what happened during their life journey, that when these beliefs are not met, the psychological contract between them and the organization is broken. So they go to work every day while they don't want to go to work, and this is affecting everything else in their lives.
Okay. It could be another factor. I mean, you would have to do a study and control for just middle age. I mean, middle-aged men in particular are known, and the data does show, at least in the United States, that they do become discontent with what's going on and they become upset. That may not have anything to do with what's going on in the workplace, but I don't know Egyptian culture well enough to be able to answer that.
So internationally, there is an effect. From your point of view, there may be an effect, or there may not be an effect.
Right, exactly. I will definitely say there may or may not be an effect.
So, okay, one more question, please. If you, in this case, the mental health, is it only the mental health in the workplace, or the mental health? What I mean, or what shall I add in the research paper? It is the mental health overall. What you are getting out of the job with something going wrong in your mind or in your brain, and you reflect with all these to your family and to your children.
Okay, if you're asking me if what's going on in the mind of a father, let's say, a middle-aged father in Egypt who's working and doesn't have the job expectations met, he's not getting his intangible needs met. I think you're asking me, will that affect his family? Is that correct?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Exactly.
I believe it will, and I believe that, and I don't think it's limited to that context. I believe that anytime anyone is in a close situation with other people and they are upset, it's going to affect the other people.
So So this will be mainly affecting everyone around him.
To some degree, yes. I think we are designed to be symbiotic people. We're designed to, organisms, we're designed to live with other people. We're designed to notice what's going on with them. We have the reticular activating system, the RAS, that notices the types of expressions people make, and that can cause us to be happy or sad and to react certain ways. So, yes, everything we perceive about us, whether we feel good or bad, is going to affect in some way, maybe not that much, but there's going to be some effect on the people around us.
You know, one of my relatives who's hitting 41 right now, and whenever he talks in front of his son, he talks very negatively about the work environment and the jobs. His son right now, he doesn't want to finish the college or to finish the secondary stage because he's afraid from the black future which is waiting for him.
Well, we do tend to reproduce people like us. You know, when people have children, they tend to install in their children their own beliefs. I have a friend whose mother is afraid of flying, and this person has never flown in his life on an airplane. He's almost 40, so he's missing out on a few things. And research does show that the fears of the parents will transfer to the children, and that just makes sense because the parents are the primary people who are around the children for the first part of their lives.
Okay.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
This gets me to another part in the psychological contract, that if the psychological contract is filled from the organizations, okay, I will mention from the organization and from the people, from the person themselves as responsible for this. If the psychological contracts are filled and people are fulfilled, this means that the happiness level may increase.
That's the question?
Yes.
I'd say yes, it may increase, absolutely. But again, this is multifactorial. I mean, this depends on the type of organization, the type of people they've hired, the type of bosses, the type of change that's being made. So to just say generally, I can say, you know, in general, yes, it may have an effect, but you would have to look at each situation.
For me, I think it's not very easy to look for each situation because, you know, I have taken 100 samples from more than one organization, and what I found in this study up to now, that the more the gap between the expectations and the perception, the more these people are not productive in their work, the more they are not engaged in their work, the more they are very pessimist, and there is a great impact, a great negative impact on their personal life.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have some empirical data then, which I don't study this, so I don't have access to that. But that's good that you do have some information about that.
Yes. The main question right now, okay, is the responsibility in this case, according to the coaching people and according to the law of attraction, will be the responsibility on the organizations or on the people themselves on the age of 40s?
Well, I'd say the organization has the responsibility to get out of the workers what it's attempting to get out of them. The organization has a mission, and that mission is to provide a service or a product and to make money. And so working with the people who work there in such a way as to make sure that they do their part is the responsibility of the organization.
And if the employees themselves are not satisfied, what could be the best action they can do from a hypnotherapist point of view?
Well, if they're not, it depends. Again, it's multifactorial. It depends on why they are not satisfied. If they're not satisfied because the organization is not providing for them what they need, then I don't know what hypnotherapy would do for them. It might help them get the confidence they need to get another job or to start their own business and live a life that they actually do enjoy. But it sounds to me like in this situation, the change needs to come from the organization itself.
You got you helped me right now on putting my hands on a very important part.
Okay.
Which is what can come from inside the employees, what can come from inside the person, the confidence. People are not very confident. Most of the people who have gap, when I have asked them about their self-worth rated very low.
Ah, interesting. I'm not surprised. And again, there could be more factors than that. You may want to look at why is their self-worth low? Is it because of the job, or is it simply always low? And if it's always low, then we don't want to look at the employer. But it sounds like you're on the right track with your research.
So I think I may complete on the part of the limiting beliefs and the part of the confidence. Mainly, people are not confident in the Middle East, especially in Egypt. They are not willing to have a business. Overall, we as well, and I am one of them. I'm working as an HR section head at Americana Group. Americana Group is a fast food moving company, and it owns all the international fast food chains. KFC, Pizza Hut, Hardee's, and so on. And I'm working in the head office.
Nice.
And I am planning to have my own business, but when I talk to people about this, that I will have my coaching business and I will accomplish the doctorate and I will do something for myself and something like this, people are, they are surprised. How will you do this? How do you want to write a book? I am in the process of writing a book.
Excellent.
And when I finish it, I would like to send it to you to take feedback from you.
I'd be honored to look at it, and I want to encourage you to keep moving forward. People who want that job for the rest of their lives and that's all they want, that's fine for them, but realize they're going to have difficulty seeing your vision. So you need to start associating with entrepreneurs, people who want to work on their own projects.
The thing I will work on this, but the thing in the research, that I wanted to target the people who are around the 40s, who will hit the 40, from the 38, 37, 38, these ages before they hit the 40, because after hitting the 40, there is a psychological decline happens for the people, especially in the Middle East countries. They think that everything is over. They think that they are most probably 80% done with their lives. So this is the case. And most probably all of the cases, because they wake up one day, discover that they had great dreams. They didn't try to work on these dreams. They had great visions in their life and they didn't try to work on these visions in their life. So they are reflecting on everything around them. They are reflecting on their wives, on their children, on anyone weaker than them.
That's unfortunate, and that could be something that needs to change over time with hopefully the organizations can become more aware and help them.
Because the main purpose of the research is beyond the organizations, beyond the organization, not what is happening inside the organizations only. The psychological contract and its impact on the employees beyond the organization, after leaving the organization, at their homes, at the street, the fights in the streets, every 2 minutes. All of these are a result of the mental health of the people.
Yeah, a lot of factors there, but it sounds like the organization may be contributing to it by not providing for the intangible goal attainment of the individuals working there.
That's most probably. Okay, I know that I have taken the 30 minutes, and I'm sure that you are more than busy, right?
Yes, and may I have your permission to put this interview on the internet so that people can benefit from it?
Of course.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And if there's anything else I can do for you, I know you're working on your MBA and you have some questions. If you have any further questions, just please set that up through my assistant. I'll be glad to help you.
Okay, great. And once I finish the book, I'll send it to you. The book, it's mainly something from the research. It's about how to help people manifest dreams psychologically.
Okay, that's wonderful.
A new path in achieving goals and something like this.
Okay, well, just so people know to look for it, I'll mention your name, which is Nabil. Is that how you pronounce it? Nabil?
Yes.
Nabil El Hady?
Yes, that's it.
Okay,
and I think that I will be done with the book within in 2 months max, and it will include some audio visuals as well.
Oh, wonderful. And just so people know how to spell that, that's Nabil, and the next word is El, and the last word is Hady, Nabil El Hady.
Hady. Yes, Nabil is my first name, and El Hady is the family name.
Nabil El Hady. Okay, well, it's been wonderful talking to you, Nabil, and let me know if I can do anything else to help you.
Yes, thanks a lot. I am more than honored for this call. And I'll send you the book once I finish it, and I need your feedback.
I will be glad to offer that. Keep moving forward. Find some more forward-thinking people to associate with, and make everything happen, Nabil.
I will. I really do this because I have a lot of motives from your programs and audios, really.
Well, thank you.
And when you read the book, you will not be surprised that you will find me writing at the way I'm hearing you speaking. Okay.
I like it. That sounds very realistic. I like that.
Okay, great, Dr. Steve. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care, Nabil.
And I'll try to send you the book at the soonest.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.